Welcome, dear friends, to Whatever You Need, the place where we look beyond the spotlight to uncover the stories that remind us of our shared humanity. If you haven't already, take a moment to subscribe, tap the join button to support our growing family, and hit the like if you value heartfelt stories that go deeper than headlines. Today's story is one that carries a quiet ache, a chapter of love, loss, and resilience centered around one of the most admired actors of recent years, Barış Baktaş. In a week that left the entertainment world still and reflective, Barış Baktaş was seen not on a film set, but in the soft shadow of personal grief. The actor, celebrated for his calm composure and gentle presence, has endured the loss of a man who shaped much of who he became, his uncle, a guiding figure whose wisdom had been a constant in his life. After a long and weary battle with illness, the uncle passed away, leaving behind a silence that echoed far beyond the family home. Those close to Barış reveal that the final days were spent between sets and hospital rooms, the actor arriving long after midnight, sitting quietly beside his uncle's bed, his hand resting on the man's frail fingers as medical monitors hummed in the background. He spoke softly, shared old stories, and in those still hours, you could sense a man trying to memorize every last second before it slipped away. Through it all, one presence remained unwavering, Yağmur Yüksel, his partner, his anchor, his mirror in life's most vulnerable moments. She stood beside him through the exhaustion and the sleepless nights, making calls to relatives, offering him a coffee when words failed, and reminding him gently that he wasn't alone. To those who witnessed it, her quiet strength was the kind of love that doesn't shout, it simply endures. The funeral took place in Ankara, the city where Barış grew up, in a ceremony stripped of spectacle but full of sincerity. No flashing lights, no public display, just family, close friends, and the weight of farewell. The air was heavy with the kind of stillness that follows rain, and when Barış arrived hand in hand with Yağmur, even those who didn't know them personally could feel the gravity of the moment. His parents stood near the front, faces carved with sorrow. Barış placed his hands gently on his mother's shoulders, his own voice shaking as he whispered something only she could hear. When the prayers began, he bowed his head so deeply that his face disappeared behind clasped hands. He did not speak, his silence said everything. Witnesses say that during the service, there were moments when he could barely stand. Friends moved closer, ready to steady him when his knees faltered. At the graveside, Barış knelt, fingers sinking into the fresh soil, whispering a prayer that seemed to stretch into eternity. Cameras, though not invited, caught glimpses of that moment. The tear that fell onto his hand, the subtle tremor in his lips, and the comforting touch of Yağmur's hand finding his once more. Later, when approached by the press, the actor's words were few but full of meaning. "He was more than my uncle," he said quietly. "He was my second father. I don't have the words for this." It was a statement so raw, so unguarded, that it left even reporters momentarily silent. Yağmur, standing beside him, gave a polite nod, signaling that no further questions should follow. That evening, his representative released a simple note: "Barış is taking time to mourn with his family. We ask for privacy and understanding as he heals." Production work, including a much-anticipated new series, has been put on hold indefinitely, a rare decision for a man so deeply committed to his craft. But for Barış, this pause was not retreat, it was devotion, an act of honoring the man whose voice once guided him through every decision. Behind closed doors, the couple has found solace in simplicity, late-night tea on the balcony, the city lights flickering below, and moments of quiet conversation about memories too precious to fade. A family member shared that they sometimes read messages sent by fans, words that poured in across social media: "We're with you, Barış, and may your family find strength." These gestures, small but sincere, have brought comfort during sleepless nights. And let's take a moment right here, dear viewers, if you're watching and want to send your love, leave a kind message below for Barış and Yağmur. Your words truly reach people in moments like these. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss stories that touch the heart, right here on Whatever You Need. The stories shared by relatives paint a portrait of the uncle as a pillar of quiet wisdom, the man who attended every school play, who once told Barış, "Keep your feet on the ground and never forget who you are." It was advice that followed him into every set, every contract, every success. When big choices loomed, Barış would often step away from the noise, make that one phone call, and return with clarity. Losing that voice, that counsel, is a grief that no applause can soften. The day the news came, he turned off his phone, cancelled his commitments, and drove through the long night to Ankara. The neighbors who had known him since childhood came with flowers and home-cooked meals, simple gestures that say what words cannot. Yağmur welcomed them with grace, guiding the rhythm of the house as grief unfolded. During the ceremony, exhaustion showed in his every movement. When his breath hitched, Yağmur reached for his hand again, and in that brief, wordless act, the strength of their bond became visible to everyone present. In the days that followed, the industry, usually fast-paced and relentless, slowed down for him. Directors, producers, and co-stars offered their patience, saying they would wait as long as necessary. They understood that some chapters in life are not meant to be rushed. A friend from set shared privately, "He's always been strong in silence. That's who he is." And Yağmur matches that energy, she's his calm in every storm. What the public saw, the bowed head, the trembling hands, was just a fragment of the real story. The deeper truth lives in the spaces the cameras couldn't capture, in kitchens filled with the scent of tea, in quiet hallways lined with old photographs, in late-night conversations where grief whispers and love replies. When a family friend asked him later what his uncle meant to him, Barış said softly, "He believed in me before anyone did. I only hope I can honor that." And perhaps that's the truest form of legacy, to carry forward the lessons of those who came before us, to let their faith in us shape what we create next. For now, the couple has chosen stillness. There are no scripts to rehearse, no cameras waiting. Just the slow, human work of healing, together. They've asked for privacy but remain grateful for the outpouring of compassion. Gratitude, they say, is what fills the quiet spaces when everything else fades. When Barış eventually returns to set, it will not be as the same man, but as someone who has walked through the valley of loss and found new strength on the other side. His performances, already known for depth and sincerity, will likely carry an even deeper pulse, one shaped by real emotion, by lived experience. And that, dear viewers, is what reminds us why we connect with stories like his. Behind the fame, behind the lights, there's always a heartbeat. If you've been moved by this story, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. How do you cope with loss? What words of strength would you send to Barış and Yağmur during this difficult time? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Whatever You Need, and tap the join button if you'd like to support our work directly. Every message, every click, helps us continue sharing stories that bring light to real moments behind the headlines. Until next time, hold your loved ones close and remember, sometimes, the quietest goodbyes speak the loudest truths. This is Whatever You Need, and we'll see you again soon.